Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm delighted to be joined with Miles with his movie, Terror. Let's take a look at the clip.
Hey everyone. I know you've never met me before, but you've got to believe me when I tell you that on our very first date, your daughter told me to tell you all that when she dies, she wants her body to be thrown into a pit in the forest somewhere and have some dirt sprinkled on her and let the bugs just have at it.
Miles, thank you for being here. Welcome to the New Filmmakers LA family.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I am honored to be here.
Thank you. And this is your first experience as well, right?
Yeah, this is my directorial debut, kind of a lot of firsts with this project, and first time on stage talking about, my project and being in a room and having it seen by a bunch of people and having them laughing. That was also the first time with that too, so.
It's amazing. We're so proud of you.
Thank you.
For coming to us first, honestly. For those that haven't seen your film, tell us a brief synopsis.
Brief synopsis is two people on a first date, maybe have a glass of wine too much, and they end up in a flirtatious banter about how they want to be buried. And then through this bit that kind of builds and builds, they end up making a burial pact. And then the date ends with them making a burial pact on a first date.
I mean, it's brilliant. Why would you not want, with synopsis like that, why would you not want to see it? I was like, literally, and it was so poetic. You had this, I was like, I think I stopped breathing watching it because I was just so enthralled in the conversation that was going back and forth. And I was like, well, what a type of conversation on the first date. This is brilliant. Where did this idea come from?
Well, it came from, so it was actually based off of a conversation that I had with my partner. Yeah. And we were just kind of talking, I think it was a similar scenario, but we were just like talking about burial plans. I think it was during COVID. Yeah. Let me back up a bit. So it was during COVID. It was during the first year of the pandemic. And I think we were just like looking back, I think we were just making a joke about something that was a little bit heavy, Like I feel like during that time, this idea of mortality was like all around us in a way that I'd never experienced. And so looking back, I think we were just joking about it. And then I think we had that quick conversation. I hopped on the train. I was in New York at the time. And then I just remember typing down on my phone just like the sentences that really stuck out, which a lot of them made it into the script. And then the more that I wrote, the more that I laughed, and the more that I laughed, the more that I wrote it down. And then I think it was like an hour-long train ride, and then before I knew it, I had the bare bones of just that dialogue in the notes app, and then I just kind of built from there.
So this is what you can never waste time, because your creativity came on the subway in New York City, which is not an easy place to not be distracted either. So well done you. The creation can come anywhere. It's amazing. I love the setup of the scene that you made, this very moody kind of experience, very close up. Like I was like, it was so wonderfully, it was wonderful to see on the big screen actually, because it looked very effective. How did you kind of know how you wanted the film to look? And also there was very intentional like movements with the camera, which I really, really loved as well, which kind of made you feel like you were the third person there.
Yeah, well, I think how I wanted it to look was that, because I have a background in theater, so I was a lot more confident with the dialogue portion of it, but then as far as like planning out a shot list and crafting that, I mean, of course I had done many working on other projects, but when it comes to your own, it feels like the stakes are higher. Yeah. And so what I did was I just rewatched like every movie where I could remember a dinner scene or just any scene over a table where I felt moved, and I just drew from that. So I rewatched My Dinner with Andre probably about 10 times, and then kind of just got a feel for the aesthetic of it. And then I also was very interested of using like the idea of just a wine bar as the place. And the empty bar was on purpose because we didn't have money to pay for background actors. So I was just thinking,
I thought it was on purpose.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I definitely wrote it that way because I wanted it to also be at the end of the day. So we don't really know what the beginning of the conversation was, right? We don't really know how they ended up on talking about death on the first date, but like a couple glasses of wine and they're the last people in the wine bar. It had to go well. Yeah. So I felt like it established already a kind of rapport that was a little bit more believable.
Yeah, absolutely. And you had great actors. Like,
I know. I was so blessed. I was so blessed.
And I think especially coming from a theatre background as well, I mean, I think the depth of like what you have to do as an actor is so much more wide range, so much more personal, you know, as well. How did you go about directing your actors? Because they did just a great back and forth dialogue with each other. It was really great to watch.
Yeah, so my friend Olivia, who the actors don't really have names, but Olivia was the one sitting on the left side. She is a phenomenal actress, and I knew since I think I did the first draft of the shooting script, I knew that I wanted her to be the main actress. And so we were able to work through the script together a bit, and she would add some notes and to write a little bit more in her voice, which was extremely helpful. And then we did the audition process, and it was extremely helpful to know one of the actors already, so we could, because it's such a chemistry piece, so it would be hard to try to mix and match like everyone, but the fact that we already had one of the roles cemented meant that I was just able to send out a casting call and then just see just have Olivia read with all the others. And then Evan, who is a phenomenal actress as well, she and Olivia just immediately just had the chemistry. And they were cracking jokes and going a little bit off script. And so from that moment on, I think we just rehearsed. Again, just from my theater background, like I just am all about rehearsal and just trying to get it down and trying to, I think preparation is the best way to set yourself up for success when you shoot. And the more that you know the material, the more you can play off of it too. So we just would rehearse and we would just break it down, you know, just beat by beat and just comb through the script and then also change things where the actors wanted to. And then of course, you know, we in the rehearsal room, we were like, perfect, this is Oscar winning, we're totally set, we're great. And then, you know, when you have one weekend to shoot it, and then suddenly, you know, you can't do entire long takes, you have to break it down line by line. I think, you know, that set up its own challenge, but I think we set ourselves up for success with the amount of rehearsal that we did.
No, and you did a great job just directing that whole piece, because it's very hard when you've got two actors that supposedly are like obviously unfamiliar with each other because it's like a first date, but then their connection makes them like very kind of like they're in tune with each other. So you had that kind of, you know, crossroads, which I thought was articulated really well. I just want to say, like, what was it like going in to make your first film? Like, what is that experience like? What is that feeling like? What were the challenges? Like, you did a great job. I feel like you've done 20 films, let alone the first one. But like, how was that experience for you?
I mean, I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it. I mean, I think that looking back, it was just such a great learning experience. And it was exactly what I wanted it to be. And I felt like it was everything that could have went right, and also everything that could have went wrong also went wrong, but like in a good way. And you know, as I said, like I was blessed to have a great crew of like just friends who were willing to help me out, to be completely honest with you, and I couldn't have done it without them. And I felt like where I fell short, you know, I had someone right there to help me out and to help guide the process.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it was
everything, isn't it? Team is everything.
Really is. And we it was really fun because I mean the budget was $500.
See, you can make a film for $5 million. At least you can.
Thank you. Yes. So we had a shoestring budget, and with that budget we were like, okay, how can we make it look realistic like a restaurant? So Caleb Brunneman, the producer, scouted the college campuses that were nearby where we were, and there was one corner of this one room that if you put the right lighting on it, it kind of looked like a restaurant if you put some tables in it. So then we were like, okay, great, this is it. So we just got the location down, and then it just kind of went from there, and it just built. So it was really, I'd say production was a series of just very lucky happenings, you know, and most of it was from my crew.
And the lighting was very, very good. It was very distinctive in this, you know, sort of low light. I loved how you did that. I even loved just the moment when you brought actually the waiter just like came out of like, oh, it's someone else here. Like it was really cool effects. So, you know, being a first-time filmmaker, it's obviously a lot going through. For all of our budding filmmakers out there, like, how do I make my first film? Do you have any advice?
Yeah, I would say just write something that you think no one else could write. You know, I think that's really important when I am writing. I think that, you know, if you just have that as your mindset, then you're gonna write something that is unique to you, and then that's going to speak to your vision as a creative, and that's really the most important thing. I would say is, you know, when you see a piece and you feel like you know the filmmaker, or you feel like you know the crew or the perspective of it, and it's really unique, that's what, you know, that's something that you want to watch again. That's something that you want to share with someone. That's something that you really can connect with. Yeah. So I'd say with writing, that's how I go at it. And with production, I just have a great team and just have a great producer, you know, just like, thank you everyone. Thank you to the entire crew. I am forever indebted to you guys. Yeah.
Okay, Miles, so what's next?
What's next is so this was actually this was a 1-act. So originally I wrote it as a 1-act, and then I wrote it as a 3-act where, I don't want to spoil too much, but essentially, you know, first act, they flirt, they make a burial pact. Second act is one of them gets hit by a car and dies. And so it's and then the third act is with this strange burial pact that they had on the first date. You know, they go to the funeral and try to say just what they actually, what the other person said in the burial pact. Yeah, thank you, yeah.
We have to bring the next one to us.
Yeah. So so what's next is trying to scrape up some money for that. Trying to do the 3-act. Definitely not like a full feature film or anything, but trying to keep it still contained. But you know, I just didn't have enough money to do multiple locations. And you know, for my first piece, I wanted to do something that was contained that I feel like I could really handle. But yeah, what's next is trying to stretch it out to the 3-act that I have.
Amazing. Well, can we help Miles make the film? We're ready for the second film, okay? Please bring your money to us, okay? For Miles. Well, Miles, listen, I'm very proud of you. Welcome to the New Filmmakers LA family. We know how hard it is to make that first project, that first film. So, you know, we're looking forward to many more of your projects. So thank you
very much. Yeah, this has been a complete honor, and thank you for being so kind. And, you know, everyone was amazing. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Miles, everybody.